February was the most extraordinary month in financial markets. On the one hand, we had continuing deterioration in the macroeconomic data. We had weak data pretty much across the globe, even including the beginnings of weak data from the United States, particularly weak print for retail sales. But at the same time, we've had a continuing deterioration of global trade data, which has included manufacturing data from China, from Japan, from Korea, and from Europe. At the same time, however, markets have been and continued on their upward march. We've seen another very strong market for equities in February, but we've also seen a fairly mixed set of markets for fixed income, but it's the riskier end of fixed income where we've seen particular strength. So in the high yield end of the market. So in other words, markets think one thing, i.e. that we're back to a risk on situation, and the economic data is telling us another. Now, why is that? Well, first of all, we obviously had a volte-face from the Fed, and so they've stopped raising interest rates, but they've also hinted that from the end of March, they're actually going to stop shrinking the balance sheet. The European Central Bank, the Bank of England, the Bank of Japan, they've all made dovish noises in terms of being there to provide liquidity should it be required. And we've actually seen some small amounts of stimulus from the People's Bank of China. So the central banks are doing their bit. There are promises from at least from the media and certainly members of the US trade team that we will see an agreement between the US and China on trade. I'm a little bit skeptical on the longer term issues, but certainly in the short term, we could get further positive news there. Korea was supposed to go well. Unfortunately, Mr. Trump left that summit early. And at the same time, we're beginning to see the effects of slightly looser monetary conditions in the US just take the edge off some of those falling data. So February was markets against the data. Markets have won for February. I think March is likely to be the month when we find out who is the final victor. We'll either see an uptick, I think, in data, or we will see markets beginning to reverse some of the extraordinary gains that we've seen in the first few weeks of this year.